Welcome to the show, everyone. I'm J.J. Flazanes, your empowerment strategist and producer. Thank you for downloading today's episode. Today, we're going to talk about creating space to open your heart and mind. I'm very excited to share today's episode with you. It's a live recording from the Inner Circle Mastermind 2022 first live retreat that we did in person. So you'll hear a couple of sounds. Like, I actually did have my microphone in my hand, but it sounds very different. We have two different mics, and the sound is a little bit different, but I do promise I did the best I could with what I had, and you may hear a little bit of us passing the microphone noise between each other because we shared two microphones with 9 people. Before we get into today's show, I wanted to announce this year's live event, and you'll hear me talk about this a little later on in the episode, but I wanted to tell you now because as of today, May 3rd, tickets are on sale. The early bird pricing is available, and I'll just tell you what it is up front. It is $697. The ticket price goes up to $997 in June. There is a 5-pay plan that you can get with the early bird. So that way it's really, really easy on your budget. It's like $150 a month. And this year's event is called Awaken Your Dream Life. And I'm very excited. I hope you'll check out the page. I hope you'll watch the videos that are on the page from last year and talk about what we're going to be doing this year. It's jjflazanes.com/dreamlife. Again, that's jjflazanes.com/dreamlife. Early bird tickets are in May only. Come June 1st, they go up to $997. There will be a payment plan for that as well. But of course, I want to get you in sooner than later. Reserve your spot because it looks like this event will sell out, which is super exciting for me. So if it does sell out, when it does, I will open up potentially virtual tickets, but they're not as impactful. I mean, a live event is life-changing because you're literally being bathed cellularly and vibrationally in so much new, higher, cleaner love, possibility, freedom, energy. So I really encourage anyone who has never been to a live event, who's always been on the edge, this is the one to come to. Please, you want to make sure you're going to be there. Again, I already have over 20 tickets sold. So jjflazanes.com/dreamlife. There is a limit to the room. So today's show, like I said, is creating space to open your heart and mind. And I'm excited to share with you the beginning of the Inner Circle Mastermind 2022 group. And we're getting together earlier this year than normal. So you're going to get to see and hear a progression of their progress differently than in past years. So the lesson that we all kind of came to is about how to take space and how to take time in order for you to work on your business and life when you're not in your business and life. Please check the show notes for any of the links for anything I mention and for their contact information. Again, if you feel a call, please feel free to reach out to any of them or to me if you have questions about their business or interested in learning more. Enjoy today's episode. Welcome to the show, everyone. I'm JJ Flazanes, your empowerment strategist and producer, and I won't lie, I've had wine. Well, thank you for downloading today's episode. It is being recorded with a group of people on location here in beautiful, not so sunny, off-season Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. So I am with the Inner Circle Mastermind 2022. Give it up, everybody! And we just completed day 2 of our mastermind. And for a lot of these women and man, this is the first time that they have gone through this. And so just like in past years, certain themes come up and lessons are learned and breakthroughs are had and clarity is had. And I wanted to share some of these lessons that we've all learned together here with you because I think it applies to you as well. Some of you have businesses, some of you don't. What we're going to talk about has nothing necessarily to do with business, so don't check out because I'd say that half of the lessons were business and the other half were personal. And of course, as you know me, they all go together. So you can't have one without the other. So I think let's start by introducing everyone who is around the table, your name, your business, or if you don't, that's cool, like where you're from or whatever you want to talk about. So I'm going to bring back, she's not a rookie. She's a second timer. We've got Michelle. Michelle, welcome back.
Thank you. I'm Michelle Langdon, and I have a landscape design business, Bloom Design Studio, in San Diego, California.
Beautiful. So let's just introduce first. Let's pass the mic, and then we'll go back to who wants to start with any lessons or anything else that they have done. Sure. Yeah.
Hi, Gaia Verneris, first-time mastermind attendee, and I have Legacy One financial planner and advisor in Ventura, California.
Excellent. Thank you. Wendy?
Hi, I'm Wendy Patterson. I'm from Gatineau, Quebec, Canada, and I have, I'm one of JJ's in training empowerment strategists, and I joined her Emerging Business Builders and jumped on board for the mastermind to build my coaching business, which is called Wendy Patterson Wellness.
Woohoo! Nicely done.
Yes.
Nicely done. We're going to pass that mic back down here. And Patti.
Hi, I'm Patti Woods. I live in Tonto Basin, Arizona, and I am an empowerment strategist. And I have a coaching company called Coach You Up.
Very nice. Welcome, Patti. And Ned. We have our first man. Let's give it up for Ned Woods. Woo, Ned! We so appreciate you.
So I'm Ned Woods. I am Patty's husband. I am new to this, and I'm the token man in the group.
You are the token man, and Doug's not going to like that. But you are the token man.
And I am a contractor, general contractor in Tonto Basin, Central Arizona.
Excellent. Dana.
Hi, I'm Dana Herrera. I live in Bakersfield, California, and I started in the coaching environment and quickly switched over to the mastermind because it became very apparent very quickly that I wanted to start my own thing, my own business. So it made all the sense in the world to work on my both sides, emotional as well as the business side. So that is why I'm here. Thank you.
Yeah, excellent. Thank you. Okay, Linda.
Hello, I'm Linda Frazzo. I am from beautiful Rochester, New York. And I started with the boot camp last October, and then I decided to do a personal level with JJ. And then from there, I went to the mastermind because I've worked in the corporate world, so to speak, for like 25 years, and I want to transition that into like a pet sitting business that I can do at home and after I retire.
Excellent. Thanks, Linda. And someone you've heard from before, Miss Stephanie.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Dillon, and I'm from Belleville, Ohio. And I started out listening to JJ on her Spirit, Purpose, and Energy podcast. And I quickly decided that wasn't enough. And so I joined her Inner Circle membership program. And I then jumped with both feet into going to her manifestation boot camp last year, and from there I decided to join her mastermind, Inner Circle Mastermind. And so now I am currently working on building my health and wellness coaching business.
Thanks, Stephanie. And you've heard Stephanie. She's been on the show before. Patty's been on the show before. Wendy's been on the show before. Michelle's been on the show before. So if you at all think, that voice sounds familiar, I think I remember that. I will link in the show notes some of the episodes that they've been on. So what would be, and this can be whoever wants to share first, so I'm not going to put it in front of you if you're not ready, but what is one of the biggest ahas or lessons or benefits that you got out of this weekend? Okay, pass the mic to Wendy.
The biggest takeaway that I took away this weekend is that I recognized what I struggle with was in a lot of the members here as well. So it was like looking in a mirror and hearing my own things coming back at me. So it really made me understand that I am fine the way I am. I just need to step out further and just move out of it rather than sitting in it. Mm-hmm. So it's just to expand and just do it. Just do it.
So you went second or third?
I went second.
Okay. And I put this order together based on who, well, you went second I went first. Michelle went second. So you went third, but you were second of the rest of you. And that reason was because for people that didn't know how to do it or what the setup was or what the expectation was, I wanted people to feel comfortable. So I had who knew it from before to do it first, or people that have worked with me more. And you and Patti being the empowerment strategist, even though you've never done this with me, I wanted, you're more comfortable, you in front of people, and like I know for sure and where we are. And anyway, so I put Wendy third after Michelle, who was here last year in the group. And would you say that you got more out of other people's shares than your own?
Absolutely.
About you or about them?
Oh, about myself.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I remember the first year somebody looked at the schedule and said, what? I'm going to fly all the way to some place to get 1 hour. I'm only getting 1 hour. I was like, oh man, you're short-sighted. Let me can you please trust that I know what they're doing? Which is why I set up on Thursday and I was like, okay, just so you know, if you're open, you will learn and get things for yourself while somebody else is sharing. It's a big think tank where stuff's flying all around and you're going to get ahas and lessons and things. I think Stephanie, you cried more about other people's stuff than you did about your stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like you allowed yourself to connect with and open the door of your heart because it wasn't about you and it wasn't about reflecting badly on you. And it allowed you to express and release some things that you have, but it was through connecting with other people. So it was almost like that shared kind of common, for those of you that have been to a live event, whether it be mine or somebody else's, that experience isn't just about like the 5-minute talk you get in front of the room or the connection you make with one person. It's the lessons can come from so many places when you're not even expecting it. And the ideas, I heard, and we didn't even talk about it yet, the idea for your business that happened when Linda was talking. And we haven't even talked about that yet because we didn't have time. And we were at dinner, and that's like later after like the weekend's almost over, we're ending up, and all of a sudden like this big idea that we all go, oh my God, that should be what you do, came after your share. And it's I think it's about the cultivation of, and for me, one of the things that came up, and again, I want to hear still what the biggest takeaway was for you guys. I don't know how to convey to those of you that are out there, whether it be, and again, it's just, this isn't about you coming to my event. Just listen to it from a place of, if you have work to do, and maybe I said this in a way for Ned, because Ned's new to me, kind of. He knows me through Patti, but like to say, we're going to work on your life and we're going to work on your business while you're not in it, because you have clarity, you have perspective, you have space. Mm-hmm. Right? How many of you do not take space? I was telling you guys today that even Doug and I go on, not right now, but we were going, before we moved into the house, we were going away for the weekends. Okay, we live together. There's no one else that lives with us. Going away down the street to a hotel for like 2 nights to work on our business because we don't have any distractions. And there's such power in creating space in your life for this to happen. So, I think that that's something that I think most of you can agree, and we'll hear as we all share maybe you didn't think about that before. Maybe you didn't realize that before. And hopefully now, whether it be again with me or someone else or on your own later in the future, that this is not a luxury. This is a necessity for your growth. Yes?
Yes.
Yes.
And I thought I learned a lot at the boot camp. No, this one was by far more. Well, not by far. I just learned more about myself in this.
Well, this is right. The boot camp was a big event with many people. And then this is a high level program with a lot more touch time and a lot more time, right, with each other. And that's where the relationships get cultivated, the time and the lessons. You go to a boot camp and that's fine. That's great. And I know people are still telling me that they're different after going to the boot camp and they don't work with me. And that's awesome to hear. But for the people that know that you go to an event, even Ned, I think you said this today, we're talking about the frequency. When you're around people of high frequency, then you go home. Then what? It's like, well, you aren't going to ask them to change to support your growth. What you need to do is either stay connected to or find an outlet where you can continue the journey with a similar support. So, Gaia, did you want to share something? Yeah.
Yeah. So I joined this group for all the reasons we've talked about. But today or this weekend, I definitely came with some clear business goals to accomplish and tackle and get ideas on. And what was so refreshing for me is that all the times that I've ever done that, it's been with other people in my business. So everyone has their way of doing it, or like it's a little bit more linear or black and white. Whereas when I opened up to you guys about my goals, it felt like more supportive and outside the box thinking and ways that, someone else in my career probably wouldn't think of. And so that was just huge for me. And just the words that we choose to use and the mindset and just how motivated I felt, when you said we're going to have, JJ said, okay, everyone take an hour. I said, that's too long because I'll miss you guys. But she said, take an hour to yourself. We changed it to 30 minutes and I went away and I put on some music, and instead of looking at I looked at my phone for a second, but that was because I wanted to look at my website. But I actually got out the notes, the huge note that we made that was half the size of me, and wrote down in my little book, like all my first action steps, and sent a message, and I was already wanting to work on it. So everything that you guys talked to me about and that we discussed, I just wanted to hurry up and put it into action. So
thank you for that. Yeah. I appreciate you saying that, because I also remember you noticing and thinking, oh, well, I've been in groups before and we're all in the same profession and that has value, which it does. It absolutely has value. And then I've thought about, when we get these groups together, we look at like half of this group has their own business and they're focused on scaling and making more money, becoming more efficient. The other half is building a business, starting from scratch. And while that might look like, well, that doesn't really connect, we don't have anything in common, we have nothing to offer, nothing to share. And it goes back and forth. And I think it's taken to this third year for me to get very clear. Look, you have to grow yourself to grow your business. And at the end of the day, business and marketing can be implemented. Those are tricks and tools and things that are great. And I know those things and we can talk about those things. And you know those things and we can share with each other what works for us. But at the end of the day, your business isn't going to grow if you don't grow. And if you're growing your business outside of growing yourself and it's not connected, then eventually there'll be a problem anyway. So we have to link it back to. So I appreciate, because even though I know there's still people that would prefer, I'm just going to hang out with the people who do what I do, that's comfortable, we all have the same language. I think that having the diversity, but yet the connection of a similar goal of being a heart-centered, balanced human being who's happy in their life, who's healthy in their life, who's running a business for all the right reasons because it's what they love to do. It lights them up. It's not just about making money, right? And it's a really interesting, especially for me, because people want to be like, oh, it's a mastermind. You should be like on the money part. I'm like, yeah, but it's not just about the money. It is about the money and it's about your life. There has to be that balance. So I appreciate that now, hearing you, feel maybe differently, or feeling like you have clarity, or that you now have had the experience which you didn't have before.
Yeah, and it's hard to know what you don't know. And I almost didn't come this weekend, not because I didn't want to be here. I just had some blocks to get here. And I'm so happy that I did come. It was much more than I expected.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate it. We're glad that you're here. We would have missed you.
If I may go further
Absolutely.
with all of this. So it was far more than I ever could have imagined. And having been at the boot camp that had a different feel, this was definitely enlightening. It was, I feel like I've experienced so many breakthroughs. And as JJ mentioned, being at different levels with business, some of us starting, such as myself, starting a business, and the different levels that, others are in. You get so much out of what others are saying, so many takeaways and ideas, and there's so much synergy in the room, no matter what industry you're in, what level you're in, like where you live, where you come from. It's amazing on so many levels. I mean, far exceeded what I ever could have thought it would be. And even on a more emotional, like furthering our personal growth, which of course will foster, our business growth. So
can I mention what you said to me before this weekend?
Okay.
You said, I don't even know if I should go because I haven't had time to work on my business.
Yeah.
And I said, and then that's why you come,
right,
to work on your business.
Right. And that is so true. I was really intimidated, figuring like, okay, yeah, well, I can't go there to do that. I should already be prepared. And it was exactly the place I needed to be, because it wasn't getting done at home for all the reasons of, the distractions and being in your life. It really did take me to be away from my life to really work on it. So thank you.
Yeah, of course. Anyone else have to share their biggest takeaways? Linda?
One thing I wanted to mention as well is like the different levels of everybody's business. Is like, for me, I'm at the very beginning level of a business where I just have an idea of like what I might want to do, but being putting it all out there on the table, I got like 3 more ideas from the group of different, avenues that would be good for me, and that like resonated with me on different other projects. So even if you're at the beginning stages, don't let that stop you, because that was one of the things I was thinking in the beginning, was you had to have like an established business or something, and that's not the case at all.
Well, yeah, because you didn't join the boot camp. You
Right.
signed up for coaching, and the first thing you said to me is, I think I have this business idea. And I was like, Linda, why didn't you join the mastermind? She's
Right.
like, yeah, I know. I don't know. And then, well, here you are.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. But that was after the fact. So, but I'm glad. So did you feel like was this what you expected, or was it more?
It was way more than I expected. Of course, I came in with a little, intrepidation, as everybody else does, for the fear that, you're going to be spending time with some people you may or may not know. But I think at the end of this weekend, we all know each other pretty well now at this point, so you can't get to know somebody if you don't spend time with them, right? So, at this point on, it's just the support that's there is just, incredible.
Yeah. I appreciate that. Patty.
I have so many, so I'm trying to narrow it down in my head. But I would say that I have the concept. I know what I'm going to do. I have some self-doubt that I think was acknowledged, and then I was so supported by people that like Linda said, I feel like I know really well now, and had some great conversations, and had a feeling of more confidence and just general support, but also support in the reasons that it's being slower for me to build it right now, and just the acknowledgement that that's okay, and that it will all happen in the right divine timing.
Was that your card?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that it's okay, and that I don't need to be hard on myself, because I think I've been putting this pressure on, and instead I feel a little more relaxed, and it'll all happen, and I just need to keep working on it, and keep connected, because the connection keeps me lit up about it.
So, and this isn't, again, this is the beginning of the year. It's the first retreat out of 2 retreats with just us. And then the end of the year, by the way, we know when it's going to be. So for those of you who came to the boot camp who want to get in on the early bird for the next event, we will tell you about that at the end. But in case you're wondering, okay, well, you joined this mastermind, it costs money. And so is it working? Is there value? Is what you just said, like, that sounds nice, Patty, but could you have got that in your regular life, or could you have found that, it sounds like you had some good conversations and you felt kind of support, but you have a big family and sisters and good friends, and like, was the mastermind worth joining financially for? Is it, and maybe you don't know how to answer that yet because we're at the beginning of the year, but if someone said that to you, what would you say?
Well, I think I do find that value in that support, and I have those people, and I know those people love me. And so it's kind of a stepping outside of that to have other people say it, in some way means more, because I know that those people, my really good friends and my sisters and my, family, all the closeness, those people know me, but they don't really know what I want to do. And they already have that, vision of who I am. And so,
a vision that is true, or an old vision, or a not correct vision, or not like the same vision of where you want to go?
Well, a combination of all of those things, but I think their opinions of me are skewed, whether it be old memories or current things. My interpretation of their vision of me is like, it's like when Ned says things to me. I know that he's looking at me through
his very loving rose-colored glasses.
Yes.
So
yes.
And you don't actually listen.
And I do listen, and I appreciate it. I do listen, and I appreciate it. But I feel like it's, you'd say that because you love me, And so coming in here, I can probably say that these people didn't love me. They didn't know me all that well, but now they can support me with the, thank you. I love you too. But seeing me in a new way and showing and reflecting back to me in a new way, in a way that I don't know that I could step out and get that with the people that I'm already engaged with.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like you could build your own house or you could hire someone else to do it. And, I mean, in a way, because, and it doesn't take you, it's not your expertise, right? So in terms of like comparison of, you can get it, but is it what you want? And are they at the vision of what you want?
It's the like-mindedness. It's also the like-mindedness of this group, why we're here, because we're open. We're open to receiving. We're open to the words we want in our world, the people, the humans we want in our world. And we may be not stuck with love my family, love my friends, but like those are always there. But to be open to people that live in the same realm that we do, the same thinking, the same openness, the positivity, the allowing. It's a different feeling than just who you're surrounding yourself with in the everyday life. Like sometimes I feel like, how do we walk? Like not that we're above anyone, but we walk around with a different level of understanding and consciousness than most people, I believe. And that has played a big part, I think, in this and in that question, right?
Yeah.
So just knowing that you're getting that support on a different level.
Well, Stephanie said, was it today? You said, I know I don't know you very well, but I trust you.
Absolutely. I think that for me, the beauty of this group was that we were all together at the manifestation boot camp. And so, except for you, Ned, you've been a great, yep. But, we had that opportunity to kind of get to know each other there. But this weekend has just really brought that all together. And I've seen, well, for me, the vulnerability and the trust. I barely know everybody in this group, and I just felt safe. I felt like I could share, and I needed to share. I needed to share about my personal life, what the experiences I've been through, and my struggles. And when you start to share, you realize that we are more alike than we are different, and we all are. In this group, and we have different businesses that we're working on, but there is a commonality. It's wonderful to come together and share these ideas, and I've got a lot of good ideas to take back home and start my business.
How many of you, and I want to take any more, shares that you want to about your business, or what you expected or takeaways, but did anyone here feel like maybe, I'm going to cancel, I'm not going to go, I shouldn't go? Anyone here maybe upper limit?
I upper limited the day we were planning it all. I just
freaked out.
I thought in my head, I was like, 3-4 days with, people I don't know. I freaked out, and I just wanted to throw it all in. And, probably would have went back to repeating my old patterns, which is what I'm trying to break. So, but with that happening, JJ pretty much talked me down, and I took my 24 hours to think about it, because that's what I do. I have to spend time thinking about everything and overthink everything. And then when it was up, I was, right back in there, and, luckily JJ didn't give up on me. So yeah. And the other thing I wanted to touch on was, like Stephanie was saying, how we all are in common. Patti and I discovered we have like 4 or 5 things in common from the way we grew up too. So, I mean, we wouldn't have, known that or shared that or anything like that. So,
well,
good.
Thank you for not upper limiting then, or even right before this weekend, when you said you started to get nervous. Not that you weren't going to come, but you got nervous and started to freak out a little bit.
Yeah, because I was happy, and then like my brain wanted to just go right back to where, my old thoughts and patterns and those old neural pathways that, I'm trying to reprogram.
Yeah.
So,
and it's normal. It's, that's why we spent the time doing the upper limit and, work. And because once you start seeing it, especially in yourself and others, like you see it all the time. You see everybody do it. You see where they say they want something and then they have an opportunity to do it and then they freak out and they go, no, I can't do that. Or they make an excuse. They get sick or they get hurt or they deflect. And it's an interesting pattern, and it's taken me. I mean, I talked you off a ledge. You freaked out, and I came because I see it. It's not. I didn't give up on you. I don't give up on most people, but whether or not they listen is a different story, or if they're ready, and not everybody's ready. And I appreciate that you also didn't give up on you, because I wouldn't have taken it as you gave up on me. Because I know this isn't, I'm at that point in my career and business and coaching to understand when someone freaks out, it isn't about me. Most of the time it's not about me. It's a reflection. I'm not ready.
It was about me being too scared to step out of my comfort zone. Even though I knew it would be, it's better in the long run, but I still didn't want to take that jump.
Yeah. So, well, thank you for still sticking it out. Ned, I would like you have the mic in your hand. I'd like to hear what you have to say, sir.
I was going to agree with Linda. I was intimidated coming into this. I didn't have the opportunity to cancel because I knew Patti would kill me if I did. So I didn't even
try
that out. I didn't even put that out there.
Good.
But it was so worth it to come. It was intimidating, and it's not in my nature to open up to people. So it was good. It was a great weekend. I think that this retreat helps all of us for the rest of our meetings, especially the computer meetings, which are a little bit harder to connect. So now after this weekend, I feel like it's going to be different from here on in.
Yeah.
But it was great for me because you guys gave me a lot of good insight. As you know, my company's in a different place right now. We've got kind of a new, fresh start, and you guys gave me some great ideas, and I appreciate that.
Was it what you expected?
In some ways, yeah.
Okay, in what ways? In what ways was it what you expected?
Generally, because this is kind of a vacation. So for me, when I go on vacation, I get out of my routine and I do open up mentally. I start getting more creative. My brain slows down. So I was expecting that, and that did happen.
Okay, and what were the ways that you didn't expect?
I didn't know that we would all connect as much as we did.
Motley Crue, right? Yeah. Motley Crue. I don't know about these people. I don't know. They're all a little different than me. I don't know if we're going to like each other.
It was great. It's a great connection. It really is a great group of people.
Yeah. And at our restaurant tonight, Ned had a waiter that was jealous of him because he was surrounded by so many beautiful women.
Right?
And he threw a fish at him.
Yeah, he threw a fish at me.
And so the connection... Were you, because you have sisters and Patti has a lot of sisters, and right? So being around women is not uncomfortable for you. But I know being around all these women you don't know and are new and different and, touchy-feely and all that shit. Did you find from, whether it be for you internally for yourself or from looking at other people, do you think it was that this is effective? And that this has a potential of really helping somebody and even in you and your business.
Oh, very much so.
Yeah.
I think for all of us, watching everybody share, I think so.
Great.
The challenge now is going to be implementing what we learned. And
the opportunity is that we're going to hold each other accountable for why we do or why we don't. Right?
Definitely.
Right.
And I think that's going to be a whole different computer meeting from here on in when we have those, is that I now know more of your backstories.
Yeah.
I had said that at dinner with Ned and Patti and Dana. We said we feel that the group calls, we've only had 2, maybe 3. They haven't been a lot yet because it's March, but we've kind of been trying to figure out what to talk about. And now that we've been here and we've all set goals, I feel like that's going to lead. We think it'll lead our group calls like, hey, did you work on that? Did you work on how's it going? What are the results? So now we all have things on the group calls to hold each other accountable for. And those are our goals now, instead of trying to come up with goals on the fly. So
Yeah, and I have the pleasure of working with all of you one-on-one, so I always know what you're working on, but because you don't meet with each other one-on-one, right, you don't know. So that's why this is really important to start off the year of having, and that's why I also love that even though I know you all didn't meet each other and have, minus Ned, good conversations or like super deep at the boot camp, I like the fact that you were all there and that you at least had some thing in common that you had experienced together, that I know you and I were at the same place, we did the same things, and that had a level of like a starting point. And to me, at least anyway, like I think that has made a difference because, I'm always trying to figure out how to make things better or do things better or more efficiently. And I really liked that. And I think I even kind of pulled back and stopped. I was like, okay, no, I really like this. I like that you've all met already, even if it was briefly, been in the same room, experienced the same thing, because it's a starting connection that has to get created with the Zoom calls in other situations or at the first live event. So I don't know if you felt like that helped or anything, but yeah. Anybody have any other takeaways or anything they want to add to? Yeah.
I would say just what you were saying is while you were saying, I was looking around thinking I had conversations more with Ned than any of these people, but I had conversations at the boot camp with every one of these people. So when I saw the lineup for the group, I was like, fantastic. Like, it wasn't just that we had shared an experience. I had because the way you do the boot camp, the way you did the boot camp was we were all, switching off partners, and I had partnered with everyone, or with Wendy. I knew her already from the Empowerment Strategist, but I had partnered with everyone. So I know a little bit, even coming in, I knew a little bit of everyone's story. So it was really nice to come from that boot camp experience to this. It's nice that you have those one-on-one conversations, and now they get expanded.
Well, does anyone else here have quality time as their love language? Quality time, Michelle, Ned, Patty. Okay, well, I think yours is quality time, but and Wendy, because that, to me, it's the love language of quality time, but it's also and I remember your testimonial, Michelle, from the boot camp of saying you can read books, you can listen to podcasts, but nothing replaces an in-person event where you meet people, you share emotions, you share space, you share your vulnerable, you're connecting with people, and it really is true. And it's not for everybody. People that are afraid to be seen or heard or be judged or be asked to grow, right? Or be pushed out of their comfort zone. But I think the other commonality with everybody here, when it comes to, a live event, like when you want change, I'm actually like, I thought about this year, like what's next? You guys, I've manifested almost every single thing I've wanted. And you've seen that, you've known that, everybody in this has, and so it's like, oh, what's next? I don't know. God, I don't know. Like, I don't have another dream that's big. Like, I don't know. I'm good. I want to have a vision. And what I thought about, minus my current structure and it changing the way that it changes, is a retreat center in the future. I've never said that out loud on the show, but I live in the perfect place for it. Hello. Not at my house, but like in Ohio, but like having land and building something to take people through and really just specialize in having these kinds of live events. And then, of course, having a space to always have a live event would be really cool, because this is life. And I think if nothing else, through the last 2 years, people crave connection, and we are changed, loved, grounded, enlightened, inspired, and opened by other people and their experiences. So I think that heart connection is super important. So, Michelle, what would you like to add to this conversation about anything that's been different for you this time? And again, I know you had a whole year and the other, and this is only like 3 months in, but anything from this weekend that was either different for you, or what might have been better, or like you received more, or you're at a different place in your business?
Yes, definitely at a different place. I was the first meetup last year. I was so nervous. I think it was hard to like absorb everything, like, because I was just very nervous about things. And so, but now I trust and I know that you attract amazing people, and that the connection's there, and everyone's so open and supportive, and it just feels safe. Like Stephanie said, you just feel safe to be yourself and open up and share and be vulnerable. So I think I was able to do that more than I was last year because I kind of got over the nerves and everything and grew last year, grew my business last year, and still have blocks to get through. But now it's so important to have like a community and the support of people to be able to do that. Because it's one thing to recognize your blocks. It's another thing to actually move through it and to know other people are dealing with the same thing and want to be at that level too is just, it's great. It feels amazing.
Do you remember the videotaping sessions from last year?
I don't know that. Well, yes. Yeah. It was terrible. Very, very bad.
I think we should play them. Not. I mean, no, I have
Please
the blooper reel. No, just for you. No, just for you. And because what has been great is Linda said to Stephanie today and yesterday, I think, I remember you from the boot camp and you are not the same person that I met. Was that 5 months ago, 6 months ago? We haven't even gotten to half of this year yet. And just the transformation energetically. And so to be able to see each other change. I mean, Patti sat in my living room not even a year ago with the same mic in her hand and it was shaking and her voice was shaking and there was no video on her. It was still just a podcast, but she was still really nervous. Like, you've grown so much from just doing the work. Right? Yeah. Because the more you keep stepping into it, the more it just starts to change it. And one of the, I think, themes today, correct me if I'm wrong, is just feel the fear and fucking do it anyway.
Yeah.
Because you cannot think your way through. You're not something that's new and hard and challenging for you and scary. You're not going to be like, oh, you're never going to mentally prepare yourself and feel like, oh, I got this. Yeah, I'm a pro at this. No, you do it. And the more you do it, it gets better. And so I was thinking about your first videos. And because you were so nervous, and rightfully so, because you're not sitting in front of a camera very often. But even how confident you are now to stand in front of the room. Like you said, you didn't even feel an ounce of fear standing in front of the room here this time, telling everybody about your business.
Yeah, it was a dramatic difference from last year, definitely.
Right. Mm-hmm. So it helps you become a better you, no matter what you do with that. By by stretching into something different, something new, something more into it. It's not even stretching. It's releasing the fear, right? Mm-hmm. It's not even like you're not becoming a new person. We're just stretching out of a comfort zone of fear. Mm-hmm. Would that resonate with you guys?
Yep.
So if you had a message you guys know a lot of people in the Inner Circle membership, and some people came to the boot camp, and people that are listening who may or may not have businesses, but you obviously know they listen to me. So we can pretty much assume that if they're listening to me, what do they want? They want to grow in some way. They want to be happy. They want to attract things. They want to manifest a great life, partner, business, health. They want all of that, right? So with that in mind, what would you say to somebody, and again, with or without coming to an event or a mastermind, what would you say to somebody to help them, inspire them to take action in their life after listening to this?
Yeah, and I spoke on day 2, and I wrote 2 things at the top of my paper. It was do more of what scares you, and you have to be willing to spend money to make money. So those were the 2 that I think would really fit with that question.
Awesome. Thank you, Gaia.
I would say, if I can, just to investing in yourself puts that out there in the universe that you're worth that, and that you do. When you improve one thing, it's like everything else improves in your life too. It's like those blocks block everything. It's not just your business, then your relationships open up and other things too. So it's all linked.
Awesome. Thank you.
I had the confidence and support that I needed to resign from a job that I didn't want, and the old me would have just accepted it and been miserable forever. So between October and March, that's where I got the confidence to be able to decide what I will accept and will not accept. So
excellent.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And for me, I just have to piggyback on what Michelle said, how important it is to invest in yourself. For me, at the Manifestation Boot Camp, I knew without a doubt that I needed to take that step out of my comfort zone and take that big leap and join the mastermind program, because I needed the accountability. I knew that once I left, the weekend there for the boot camp that I was going to go back to my life, and there wasn't going to be JJ on me telling me, did you send that email yet? So,
Right, not just me now.
yeah, for sure. And they all know now. And so I knew I needed that. I needed that extra push. I needed that accountability, and I need the help and the support, because it's not just working on my business. It's working on me personally, my growth. So I so appreciate this weekend and the friendships, the love, and the support and the trust. And I am very excited of what the rest of this year is going to bring for all of us.
Thank you, Stephanie. Wendy, what advice would you give the person listening?
Just do it. I echo everybody's words here. Yeah, just do it. This year was an amazing year for me. Pushed me out of my comfort zone. I want to be pushed further. I want to grow further. And I want my business to grow. And with everybody's support and amazing energy, I'll get it. I'll do it. Like, no problem.
You will. So like I said, again, if it's not me, if it's not my events, it's not my coaching, that's fine. But there's something in this. There's a message in here for you from someone. So Patti, what would you tell that person?
My message would be, and Ned and I talked today on our walk on the beach, it's faith over fear, always. And if you have faith in yourself, faith in God, faith in what the universe is going to bring you, or just like taking the trust fall, like you just put the fear aside and just let it go. And there's so much beyond the fear that opens up for you if you let it go. Like that is the thing that we're talking about, people we know and how that just holds them back. Just the feeling like they can't do things. And if you let go of that fear and just push yourself through, like Wendy was just saying, just push, just go past it. There's a whole nother world on the other side that's amazing.
And I want to acknowledge the three of you, especially Wendy first, because Wendy is from Canada and has had one hell of a time this weekend trying to find a place to get tested. She drove down. So if anyone could have upper limited and said, it's too hard, it's too complicated, I might have got back into my country, like you have valid reasons, she came anyway, because what she wants is bigger than the frustration of what she has to go through to get here. Your desire for what you want is bigger than your fear of the inconveniences and the hassle of this shit show that is the world sometimes. And I acknowledge you for that. And you too, because with not having a house to live in and building 2 houses and starting 2 companies and grandchildren to babysit for and all the things you're dealing with, you absolutely could have been like, there's freaking no way. And you're here. And I want to acknowledge that, because too many times we let things get in the way, which is why, again, I had to start this weekend by reminding people you are here to work on your business and your life. And you cannot do that in your life. You can, but it is not the same. You do not have the same clarity. You do not have the same integration, because you can't see it when you're in it. You have to leave it. And I know you needed a rest. Both of you needed a relief. You needed a break and to recoup energy and to, again, just have a breath of fresh air and to take a little vacation, even though you're working on yourselves. So I really just want to acknowledge that, because people will say, oh, but this happened. I can't do that. And and again, you make that choice, but there are times where your choice is an upper limit of what is this really about? This is about fear. And for some people, right? And, it's always really about fear. It's fear of something, fear of not having the money, fear of not having the time, fear of something breaking while I'm not there, fear of something's going to fall if I'm not holding it together. But again, you wanted and you needed the rest, but you want something more than you have. And that was more important than I'm going to hold the fort together with my bare hands, right? Like, it's like, I just want to acknowledge that, because I think you exemplify. There's one thing to have mind chatter, and there's another thing to say, I have physical things in my physical life that are financially, like, super important, and I can't live without this. but I made a commitment. I'm going to go. And I'm all about commitment. You guys all saw me cry at the boot camp, but like commitment, and I'm a very highly committed person, and I didn't really realize that until the last couple of years, and how much that's an integrity thing for me is when someone says they're going to do something and then you do it, even if it means you take a double take and go, why am I wanting to bail right now? And again, feeling the fear and doing it anyway. So thank you. So Ned, what would you say to the men that are out there? I do have men in the audience, and they just don't talk as much as women do. There are men that are listening secretly that don't talk very much, Ralph. And so, like, you know, for a man, like the reason they don't talk is because there's a lot of women, and they're like, oh, there's women. Like, what would you say to the man about either whether joining the mastermind, coming to a live event?
I would have to say, like, for this weekend, it really exceeded my expectations. Like being in the construction business and talking about business, with the exception of a few people here, most of you don't have a background in that. But the ideas that you gave me were great. Kind of helped with that new direction that we're hoping to take our business down. So I would say if you don't think it's a good fit, just give it a shot. You're going to be surprised.
Thank you.
Because it isn't just business.
No.
There's more to it than that.
And was any of the more to it intimidating for you?
Yeah. I think listening to everybody, like there's a little bit from every story that you can relate to yourself.
Yeah. So you got stuff from other people's shares about you too.
100%.
Excellent.
Yes.
Thank
very
you.
much.
I appreciate you.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys.
Dang. If you're like talking to the person who's wanting to change their life, but they've been stuck and they have the same patterns and they don't get help, they don't go away, they don't join things, they don't pay anybody, they don't hire anybody, they're afraid to be criticized or judged or to fail, and they're sitting in the back listening to this, hoping that this podcast is going to change their entire life without them ever taking any action. What would you say to that person?
It won't happen. It won't happen because I started as one of those people. Figuring, the podcast, I can do this. I can listen to the podcasts and, kind of muddle my way through it. I didn't think it was muddling. I really thought I could perhaps do something. And it was doing more than I was doing. But I tell you, the boot camp, wow, that as intimidating as that was, going by myself to the boot camp and so many wonderful people, that was the first step. And I came out of that. I'm like, okay, I did that. I lived. I lived to tell about it.
You didn't die.
I didn't die. There you go. Didn't die. And at that point, even I was just, I still though, after, as someone said, maybe, I don't recall who it was a moment ago, but they even said, once you leave, you're thinking, oh yeah, I could do this, Stephanie. I could do this. And you just don't, or you just can't, or, life gets in the way, or you just upper limit. And we can all make excuses, but you can't, honestly, you cannot do it while you're in it. I don't know, not to this degree anyway, and not to the shared feelings, and ideas. I mean, it's just, there's a synergy that you just cannot get. I don't know of another group, especially because this is, spirit and then purpose and energy, and it encompasses all of that. And I now see even more so than ever the true value of all of that combined, and just bringing so many different people together just makes the experience amazing, and it makes it emotional. So that is all. But yeah, 100%.
Can I share what you said to me when you came out of the bathroom after your share?
Okay.
About looking in the mirror?
I think. Oh, okay.
So Dana had a nice release today, and she became unweighted a little bit in certain ways. And I know a lot of you, especially the women that are out there that are moms, and you have many things you're juggling, and you feel the weight of the world on your shoulders, and you always have to be the one saving everybody, and you think you're the strong one that people need, and you can't fall down, and you can't be vulnerable, and you can't cry, and you can't be wrong, and you can't screw up. And so Dana we had a really powerful time with her today. Everybody had a powerful time. But speaking especially of her, she went into the bathroom after we were done, and she came out and she said, I think I look younger.
I just had a whole different appearance to myself, where I looked at myself and I went, Wow, that was really crazy. That was good.
So this is for anti-aging. If you'd like to, anti-aging, you're going to come to an event or join the mastermind, do some really hard work. It's going to scare the shit out of you, but make you 10 years younger.
Right, absolutely.
No, just thank you. No, I just thought it was a great because the burdens that we carry that we don't have to these are the places you can come and let them go.
That weight lifted and cleansing.
Yeah, cleansing.
Cathartic.
So hopefully that inspired you to take some action in your life today, because of course you can't join the mastermind right now because it's full and we're closed and it's still 2022. So if you're interested or curious, I know a lot of you who came to the boot camp who know kind of how I work. I'm going to be having a 1 month early bird special only for our event this year, which as of this moment in time, and if it changes, I'll edit this out, is October 14th through the 16th. It is back in the same place at the Redondo Beach Hotel. And we are doing Awaken Your Dream Life. This year's event is called Awaken Your Dream Life. So put it on the calendar. Whenever tickets go out on sale, it'll be 1 month of early bird, and then there'll be some payment plans after that, and a limit to the room, because there is a limit to the room. And if you're thinking about it, get it now, because there's a limit to the room. I will have a wait list, because now I have 25 doctors who refer to me, and a hell of a lot more people who it's life or death that they have to do some of this work. So just take action if this is something of interest to you. So again, and we will be putting anyone who has a current business and a website, I will put their links in the show notes, and check them out if you heard something that you're interested in. And as we start to do more together, different this year, we're actually going to be getting together again in the summer, and then you can expect to see more about them later in maybe September, where you can work directly with them and support them and share them with others and get to know them and be inspired by them. So thank you for listening. Thank you guys for sharing. It's important to kind of get it and pass it on, like take this really positive energy and infuse it in others, and let's keep growing and changing the world, because that's how we're going to contribute in a much bigger way. So thank you. I love you.
Thank you, JJ.
Thank you, JJ.